Hello friends and family and strangers and nobody, because no one watches these. Today I thought I would do something different. I've been wanting to do the adoptee tag for at least a year. I think I've recorded this video like 10 times before, and yeah, it never went anywhere. I feel like I just didn't like my answers and I sounded stupid. So yeah, maybe this one will be okay. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the first question is, where are you adopted from? Yeah, so I was adopted from Phnom Penh in Cambodia, from an orphanage called lmao. And yeah, so while my orphanage was in the capital, Phnom Penh, which is not how you pronounce it, that's just the American way to pronounce it. I know how to pronounce it correctly, but I'm self-conscious of it, so I just say Phnom Penh. Anyway, even though my orphanage was in Phnom Penh, you know, there's no guarantee that I'm actually from there. Sometimes people from orphanages, like, they will go to other villages to collect kids. That sounds so bad. I mean, it's not false. Whatever. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm from, but I'll go with Phnom Penh. Question number 2. Where do you live now? Well, I grew up in Lexington, Massachusetts, and I'm currently living in Ithaca, New York. I'm in my last semester at college. I'm not really at college because it's online. Yay. But I'm here in Ithaca. Wow. I wrote 2 number 2s. Number 3. How old were you when you were adopted? I think I was a few months old. Supposedly I was born in April of 1998, and I was adopted in July of 1998. So yeah, I was a few months old. But yeah, you know, don't know that my birthday is actually April 16th or not, so it's just an estimate. Yeah, honestly, like, it's great not knowing if anything about your identity is correct. It's wonderful. It's my life. 4. When did you find out you were adopted? I feel like it's not something you find out when you're brown and your family is white. I mean, it's not like a trick question. It's not like you have to think about it. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like difficult to explain, but I guess like when I was younger, it's not like I necessarily knew I was adopted with like using that actual word adopted, because I don't think I understood that concept. But you know, you know you're different. You know that you don't look like your family. You don't look like the people around you. You know something's off, but you don't really understand what. But yeah, I don't think there was like a point when like someone told me I was adopted, or I was like a ding ding ding, I'm adopted. I think it's more just like learning to understand what it means to be adopted, not like finding it. I don't know. It's too complicated. My whole life. Yeah. Number 5. Do you tell people that you're adopted? Oh, well. I mean, I'm not gonna just like blurt it out. Hi, my name's Julia. I'm adopted. That's just not how you introduce yourself. Like, I don't know. I mean, it tends to come up pretty quickly, like when I meet people. Mainly because, I don't know, people like, I think it's because of my appearance, that it comes up pretty quickly. Like even with strangers, like that I'm never gonna see again, like at work with customers. Like I literally will end up telling a customer that I'm adopted. Like, why do they need to know that? I mean, it's not my fault they asked me where I'm from, and then I'm like, I grew up here. I've been here my whole life except for 3 months. And then they're like, no, where are you really from? I'm like, my brain is just like I'm working, you know, I'm checking out the groceries, I'm scanning them, and I'm trying to think, which answer do they want? Like, I could say like I don't know. So instead of like, I don't know, I just, the easiest thing for me is, so I don't have to think about it, is I just say I stopped from Cambodia, but I've lived here my whole life, and then that's that. And then, you know, they say more stupid things. Like, side story, I was at work one day, and exactly what I just said, this man was at my register, and he's like, where are you from? And I'm like, here. And he's like, no, but like, where are you really from? Like, literally just ask me my fucking ethnicity. It's not that hard. Ethnicity. And so, it's like, where you really from? I was like, try not to roll my eyes. It's like, I was born in Cambodia, but I was adopted, and I've lived here my whole life. Blah, 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 blah. You don't need to know this. I don't owe you anything. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. Like, just go on your way. But yeah. And then he's like, oh, I love Cambodia. I used to live there, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no wonder why your skin's so nice. And I'm just like, like what? It's just, like, yes, it's a compliment, I guess. But like, I don't understand why people feel like they need to say that. Like, I'm working, you're a customer, it's kind of inappropriate, kind of weird. Like, I would never say that to someone. Like where are you from? I'm from here. Like, no wonder why you're so pretty. No wonder why like your skin's so nice. Like, like it's just weird. I don't dig it. Don't dig it. Yeah. So I don't necessarily tell people or not tell people that I'm adopted. It just comes up pretty easily. But I would definitely like not hide it. If someone asked me or it came up, I have no shame talking about it. Honestly, I talk about it all the time. Oh man, my piercing is not centered. This always bothers me. Like, I watch my videos back and I realized that like it was like this the whole video. Yeah, I always get self-conscious in public though, because like I feel it looks like I'm picking my nose from far away, but I'm not. I swear I'm not. Okay. Number 6. Do you like to know about your heritage? I feel like it's been a more recent thing to be interested in my heritage. Or just like not even like my identity as like a Cambodian, just like my whole identity as like an Asian as a whole. When I was younger, I mean, like when I was like really young, like obviously I just didn't know anything. Like didn't care about those types of things. I just wanted to fit in and make friends. Like, I just did what other people did. Like, that I wasn't thinking about what it means to be Asian or Cambodian, or the fact that my whole identity was taken away from me. You know, those types of things didn't go through my mind at that age. But like, I don't know why, like in middle school especially, I think I just like rejected everything Asian. Like, it was just like, no, like, no, I'm American. I'm like, yeah, like, I didn't even find any Asians attractive. Like, I don't know why. It was just like, I didn't want to deal with that part of me, maybe. I don't have a reason. Yeah, I would say maybe like mid-high school, I started becoming more interested in Asian things in general, and then definitely like my identity as a Cambodian. I know like people make fun of me for liking K-pop and like Korean stuff, and like I get it, like sometimes it can be cringy, but like I think people don't understand like what it means for me to like be into K-pop. Like, that was such a big change in my life, like to go from like rejecting everything Asian, only liking like, no offense, white people stuff, you know, like to shift from that to like Asian culture, music, food, language, whatever, like that like gave my life like a 360. Like, everything changed. Like, so yes, it's music and like stuff, whatever, but it also represents like the start of me becoming interested in my identity as an Asian. So people can make fun of me for liking K-pop. I don't really give two shits anyway, but like for me it's meaningful. And yeah, it like started everything. Like, yeah, before like K-pop, I was interested in learning about like Cambodian stuff, but like still not really other Asian stuff. And like, yes, I'm Asian, so like I'm allowed to like Asian stuff. I really don't think that's weird. Like, I don't know why people feel the need to like criticize you in general anyway. Like, even if you're not Asian, you like Asian things. Whatever, that's a whole nother like separate thing. But yes, I would like to know about my identity. I'll stop there. Number 7. Have you been back to your birthplace? Yes, I have been back a few times. Yeah, so when I was 8 years old, I think, my family did a trip to China and Cambodia because my sister was adopted from China. Yeah, so I think we did like a week in China, maybe. I don't know, honestly, my memory is horrible. I barely remember what I did yesterday, let alone 2006. But yeah, I think it was a week in China and then a week in Cambodia. We went to where my sister was adopted from. We visited her orphanage, and like other places. I honestly don't remember. And then in Cambodia, we went to Phnom Penh, Siem Reap. I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, we did like touristy things since that was like our first time going. Went to Angkor Wat. I don't know. I was too young to really like take anything in. It just was like, ooh, another country. I think that was my first time traveling out of the country, besides obviously when I was like adopted. But yeah, at that age I was just not aware of what it meant to be back in my birth country. Like I had a therapist like my whole life, but like around that time to help prepare me for that trip, and like I don't think I understood like how powerful of a trip it could have been. But like again, I was like 8 years old. 8 years old? 6 years old? I think I was 8 years old. 2006, yeah. Or was it 2008? It's either 2006 or 2008. I think it was 2006. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So that trip, I mean, I guess it was good for my like exposure to the country, but unfortunately I didn't take anything from that trip. I went back a second time in 2016. I went with my stepmom Ellen, and I was old enough then to have that be a meaningful trip. It was the summer between just graduating from high school and before starting college. So that was like, you know, your biggest identity crisis time. So I was very active then, like with wanting to learn about my country, the language, everything. Like I wanted to feel a connection. So that was a really good time to go. And honestly, it was really emotional. Like, going back and understanding the complexities of going back, like what it means to be there. You know, like it's this strange feeling going back to your birth country. Like it's a country you know like nothing about. You know, you didn't grow up there, you don't speak the language, you don't even know like the customs, but like you weirdly feel at home and like comfortable there. And it's just strange. Like, why do I feel more comfortable in a country that I've barely spent any time in compared to a country that I've lived my whole life in? Like it just felt like more like home than like the US ever has. And yeah, I don't know any way to explain it except for that it feels strange. Yeah, but I think I wrote a lot. Oh, I tried to blog, but I gave up like halfway through because I just didn't remember like the names of any places that we went to. And yeah, but I kept a journal, and I kept track of like my feelings and stuff. But that was a really nice trip. But you know, that's when I start noticing that like people stare at me a lot. I mean, people stare at me wherever I go. You know, in the US, people stare at me because they don't know what I am. You know, no one knows what a Cambodian looks like. Although I would argue that even Cambodians don't think I look Cambodian. So literally, I visited my orphanage when we went that trip, 2016, and one of the people who worked there when I was in the orphanage, which is now closed, she told me, like, you know, I've traveled a long way here. Like, it's been at least like 24 hours of traveling. You know, I'm excited. Like, I'm gonna meet someone who worked in my orphanage. Yay. You know what she says? You look more Indian. Like, thanks. Totally wanted to hear that. I'm nothing against looking Indian. I mean, anyway, that was a good trip. I think I wrote my college essay about that trip. Yeah, and then, well, it was a good trip, but like, I still didn't get to experience Cambodia to the fullest because, you know, I love my mom. God, again. That did not work. You know, it's gonna move again. Anyway, I love my mom, but like, you know, she's white. There's no avoiding that fact. So, you know, going around with a white woman, we stick out. Especially when we went to like non-touristy places, like instead of just going to Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, we also went to Phnom Bang and Kep. And yeah, I think in Phnom Bang, when we got to our hotel, we went to order food when like they're at the restaurant, and the lady started speaking to me in Khmer, and I was just like, I think she thought I was my mom's translator or like guide. I'm like, no, this is my mom, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's just weird to me being there sometimes. Like, it feels like home. Like, I see people that look like me, but like, I still know that I'm like so different. But at the same time, again, I feel like I fit in there more than here. So it's weird. How can this place be more homey than here, where I've lived my whole life and grew up and everything I know? It makes no sense. But yes, so I finally went back on my own, completely on my own, in 2018. I haven't told my parents about this trip yet, so if they watch this video, I'm sorry. I told them that I was going to Thailand, which I did do, but I also made a quick trip to Cambodia. My heart was telling me to go, like I needed to go, but I knew my mom would say no because she thinks it's unsafe, which it was totally fine, honestly, like totally fine. And it's not like I went out at night. Well, alone. I didn't go out alone, okay? I had friends. But yeah, that trip was like, I have no regrets going. It was honestly really amazing, because the 2 times I had been before, again, I was with my family, so I was with white people, I stood out. But this time, going on my own, like, yes, people know I'm different, like they can tell like I'm not from there, like I didn't grow up there, but like we like exchange these looks where they're like, you're Cambodian, but like something's off about you, but you're Cambodian, and I'm just like, yeah, you right. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, kind of cool. And I had made some friends who lived close to where my hotel was, like the nicest people, and just hanging out with them was like, I feel like I needed that. Like, I don't really have I don't have any Cambodian friends that are like, see, I hate that, like in my head, like I say like I don't have any like actual Cambodian friends. Like, Cambodian adoptees are still Cambodian. Like, why aren't we allowed to view ourselves as Cambodian? Like, we're real Cambodians too. It's not our fault that we were adopted. Like, did we ask for that? Like, yes, I'm grateful for my life. I love my family. I know how lucky I am, but like, I did not ask for it. So, anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, this is my life. Yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, yes, oh yeah. I don't have any like Cambodian friends that weren't adopted. There you go. That's a better way to phrase it. So like going out in Cambodia with Cambodians, like I was just mind blown. Like, I just like lived like everybody else. Like, it was just, it sounds so stupid and like it's such like a little thing, but to be surrounded completely by people who look like you and like to not be questioned about like, where are you from? Like, not a single person asked me where I was from, even though they like looked at me and like could tell something's off. Like, no one asked me that, like even in Khmer, like no one, like, I don't know. And some people would just speak to me in Khmer, like, which was nice. Like, yes, I feel bad that I don't really know Khmer, but the fact that they think I speak Khmer, like, my heart. Yeah. Anyway, I just confessed that I made a trip there without permission. I mean, I was like 19 years old, 20 years old. Like, I wasn't a baby. Anyway, number 8. Do you speak your birth language? No. I wish. I took a Khmer class at Cornell for 1 semester in 2017, maybe? I think that was sophomore year, maybe. Yes, fall 2017. Yeah, amazing class. I love my professor. She's like the nicest person ever. And like she knew that I was adopted, so she like really took care of me, and it's just I love her. Anyway, that class was really good because we were only 2 students, but it was a bit hard for me to keep up since the other student was Thai, like literally from Thailand, and grew up there, and she'd even studied Khmer before, so I was just like struggling in class because, you know, Thai language, as far as like learning those types of sounds, like, you know, it's not that different. Like Khmer wouldn't sound foreign to her, but like for me, excuse me, what is in my eye? Is it in my eye? Like those sounds are totally foreign to me. Like it's so hard for me to pronounce some of the like vowel consonant combinations. Even the consonants are hard to pronounce. Like the vowels are fine, but like combined, like some of the consonants, like especially like there's one that's like NGO sound, which is like in your fucking throat, and like it's so hard. No, it's so hard for me. Yeah, so that's fun. But I tried my best. I think I learned a lot, but you know, I haven't been practicing, and it's been a few years, so I'm pretty much back to 0 with the Khmer language. But in the future, I do want to study it again. And like the alphabet, I can pick up quickly. It's hard for me to speak well because the sounds just aren't natural to me. So yeah, I wish I learned at a younger age when it was easier to make those types of sounds and get used to them. But you know, I'll still try again. Yeah. Number 9. How was it growing up adopted? What a shit show. Just kidding. It was fine for the most part. I think it's just because I have a really amazing family. Like, I know that not everyone has a family like mine, and that can really totally alter the experience. If you don't feel like you're supported, loved, like you would think that that's like a basic thing in a family, like, but you know, even non-adopted, adoptee families, even families without adopted children, like there are plenty of families who lack love and support to their children, and it's sad. And especially like being an adoptee with that type of home environment, like I can't imagine how shitty that feels. So yeah, I was lucky, and my parents are like the most supportive people ever. And you know, my grandparents are lovely. Love my cousins, like everybody is just wonderful. So I think that really made my experience growing up as an adoptee much more positive. Like, yeah, obviously we have family problems. That's like, every family has problems. If you don't have problems, that's just, you're lying. But yeah, I mean, I feel like socially maybe it was harder. Like my home life wasn't that bad for me. Yeah. But like socially maybe I have some struggles. Just like that feeling of constantly wanting to fit in. I think it messed me up a little bit, not gonna lie. When I was younger, like constantly wanting to please people and like changing myself to fit other people's interests, even though like it's not who I am. Like I would just try to be the person that people wanted me to be, even though that's just like not who I am, and it was just bad. Or like I would change my interests based on like my friends, and like that's not how you should live. But like I didn't want to be left alone, like, you know. But high school, I would say I started having a backbone and kind of creating my own identity and starting to care less about what people thought of my own interests. Like, who gives a shit if you don't like what I like? Like, that's okay. We're allowed to like different things. There's no problem with that. You know, you can get along without being the exact same person. I don't know why it took me so long to understand that. But yeah. Number 10. Have you done a birth parent search / found your birth parents? Yeah, no. I mean, no, I haven't found them. I am interested in searching, but there's no information to start searching with. Like, I wouldn't even know how to start that process. When I was younger, my parents hired someone in Cambodia to, you know, make like radio ads, whatever, newspaper ads, and, you know, nothing. Which is to be expected, I suppose. Like, we just don't know anything. It's sad sometimes to think about that. Like, I literally know nothing. Not like a single name, no piece of information, like nothing. So if I ever want to seriously start a birth family search, there's not much to work with. As I said, I did a DNA test, but so far I've only matched with like 2nd to 4th range cousins, which is still like, that was really emotional, like to know that like I've blood family. Like, I know blood doesn't make up a family, like obviously that's like the number one thing you learn when you're adopted. DNA doesn't make up a family, but you know, there's just something like, I guess like a weird obsession that I have, like, of like wanting to know my blood family. Like, just, I don't like not knowing. Anyways, so like I've connected with some people and that's been great, but you know, they don't know anything either, so we all just hit like a dead end. So yeah, I'd like to search. And like some people think it's a waste of time, and I understand that. Like, I know the odds of finding anything are like so slim. And even if I find something, like, you know, my family would not necessarily be in good condition. You know, they might want money. Like, you don't know these things ahead of time. Like, you don't know they're gonna be like welcoming you with open arms, like, I missed you, I've been looking for you, happy ever after. Like, that doesn't always happen, you know. Sometimes they didn't want to find you, sometimes they don't want to contact you, you know. Maybe you coming into their life would be slightly traumatic for them. Like, maybe the circumstances that you were born in, like, were just really bad for them, and they don't want to be reminded of that time. So maybe, you know, connecting with you would be hurtful for them, you know. You just don't know these types of things ahead of time. But I have a feeling I'll never know anything. I've accepted that. But I personally don't think for my journey that it would be a waste of time. Like, I'd rather try and not find anything than not try and never know. So, yeah. 11. How would you define your identity now as an adoptee? I feel like I've already explained everything, but being an adoptee is like I don't know why I can't talk today, probably because I haven't slept. Y'all should sleep, unlike me. Maybe your brain will work better. But yeah, being an adoptee is a really big part of my life. I don't know, I just feel like my whole personality has been influenced by the fact that I was adopted. My views on life. I mean, where I'm going in life is literally affected by being an adoptee. Yeah. I think everything I do is fueled by wanting to do something. I always feel like I have to justify myself. I always really prove myself, and it's just this idea that, when you're adopted, you were given a better life. You have all these opportunities open to you that wouldn't have been open to you otherwise. You have to take advantage of them. You have to do this, that, be super smart, be a doctor, make a change. But yeah, not all of us were born smart. Not all of us have the brain capacities to be a doctor. So, I feel like I just have always felt like I do want to make a change, but I feel like I have to do it in my own way. I'm not qualified to be a doctor. I can't make a change that way, I'm sorry. But, there are other ways to make change. And I feel like I want to... It's complicated because I think a lot of Cambodians have a hard time understanding this, and I know where they're coming from, but I want to go back to Cambodia and, do something there. I don't know what, because I feel again, being an adoptee is so complicated. Being an adoptee is so complicated. There's so many things I want to do. I want to give back. I want to make a change. I want to help out kids who would have been in the same position as me if I wasn't adopted. That's just I want to give something to them, because I didn't choose to be adopted. I was chosen by chance. If I hadn't been adopted, I would still be I wouldn't be in that orphanage because it closed, but I would still be living that same life. And I don't know how that would be. People talk about it it would be the worst thing ever. You wouldn't be happy. You're happier now. But who the hell knows that you wouldn't be happy? Just because you live differently doesn't mean you wouldn't necessarily be happy. So complicated. But yeah, I have this weird feeling where me wanting to help out kids in Cambodia, it feels like white savior complex, but then I realize I'm not white, and I was born there, and what's so wrong about me wanting to go back and find a connection to the country? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't know, it just feels weird sometimes. Yeah. But Cambodians don't understand why I want to go back. They're what? You live in America. Why would you want to come here? Why would you waste your time here? And I understand that. First of all, they think America is this great place, which, for them, maybe they would enjoy it more. I don't know. But I don't think they understand completely the mental struggles that adoptees go through. They might focus on the more materialistic side of it, which is I've had so many things given to me and handed down to me that I am very grateful for. But I think you can be grateful for these things and still want to go back to the country you were born in and connect to the people there, the culture, the language, the food, everything. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Again, I was taken from that country. I was not asked because I was a few months old. Couldn't talk. So like, why shouldn't I be able to go back and try to make up for the time that I lost? I don't know. It's just so complicated. Why is life so complicated? Number 12? This numbering is shit. Do you know any? I can't even read now. Do you know many other adoptees? I wouldn't say many. I was lucky that like even when I was in kindergarten, like my best friend was also adopted, but she was adopted from within the US, so it was like a completely different situation. But still, like, just to have that at such a young age was kind of crazy, like to have someone like me. Yeah, but I've made some friends over the years. I'd like to make more. But you know, being shy and anxious as hell, it's hard to meet new people, especially during a pandemic. So that's fun. Number 13. What's something people may not know about what it's like to be adopted? I think I've already talked about things, but I think the biggest problem for me, like, that people don't understand is like, you don't need to tell us and like remind us that we need to be grateful. Like, we know it. Like, we already have problems with it. We don't need you, some stranger, to tell us. Like, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Wow, you should be so thankful for your life. You were given this and that. And wow, oh my God. Like, I know. I know I have to be grateful. But like, can we also pay attention to like the problems that have been caused by being adopted? You know, there's another side to this. Yes, there's many things we should be grateful for, but like, there are many other things that we can talk about. Like how, I think my biggest problem with being adopted, this is the next question, so I won't, I'll wait for that story, it's not a story, that rant. But yeah, you don't need to tell us that we're lucky. I mean, maybe some people could be reminded, but like, that's just people in general, not necessarily like an adoptee, like just people who don't appreciate what they have. I don't think that's an adoptee thing. Like, that's just a human thing. Like, a lot of us we take things for granted, but like, as an adoptee, you don't have to remind us. Like, I'm thankful for my family and what I have, but I wouldn't say I'm thankful for being adopted. I feel like that's like a whole separate thing. Like, I can be thankful for what I have, but not thankful for the fact that I was adopted. Because honestly, the whole like thing of adoption is just fucking weird to me. Like I want to support it because like parents like mine, like my parents are lesbian, who like can't have their own kids. Like, yes, adoption's like a great option, but like inter-country adoption is just like this whole strange thing. It's just like, how do you have it in your head like I want to adopt someone from this country? It's weird. Like, do you just suddenly like have this urge like, I want to adopt someone from India. I'm going to go get a baby from India. Like, it's just strange when you think about it. Getting to choose Where? I don't know. Okay, so number 14. Do you think being adopted has affected your relationship/trust? Oh yes, that would be a yes. Yeah, I have a lot of issues. Yeah, I am horrible with confrontation. I think because A, I have the disease to please, and B, fear of abandonment and rejection. It's just like those things combined are just awful. Like well, they go hand in hand, because like if you have the disease to please, you always want people to be satisfied with you and your actions, your words, whatever, you as a whole. Like, you don't want people to be mad at you. You don't want people to yell at you. You know, you have the disease to please to avoid those things. And then when those things happen, it feels real shitty. Yeah. I don't know. Because, like, signs of rejection and confrontation, like, it feels like, you know, you're distancing yourself from that person. And, you know, that feeling's scary because, you know, we were taken away from our parents. Like, yes, my parents are my parents. Like, so are my birth parents, you know. They're all my parents. It's only natural that we have distrust. Like, we can't even trust information that was given to us, like my birthday, my name. Like, when you can't trust these basic things, how are you expected to trust people in your life? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'd say like friendships doesn't affect it at all. Like, my friendships are fine. I'm not insecure with those. Family, for the most part, okay. One relationship that's, yeah, but that's personal, so I won't expose that here. Not for my sake, I wouldn't mind sharing it, but because it involves another person, it's not my business to share publicly, so we don't do that. But I'd say romantic relationships, it fucks me up the most. Cause I feel like in a relationship with someone romantically, at some point I get scared that like they're going to leave me. So like any problem we have, it's just like I want to run away. Like, I like fight or flight. Like I have big flight. I want to run away. Like, you know, I'd rather break up with someone before they break up with me. But then I ruin things. Like I'm like, I don't even know that they would break up with me, but I do it first anyway because I'm avoiding it because I just don't want them to do it. Oh, it's fucked up. I don't know. So relationships are a mess sometimes. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I'd like to find a relationship where I can like not have to worry about things like that, and I can like talk it out instead when I'm feeling insecure about things like that. But it's just like everyone I meet, like, they're not looking for like an emotional relationship, and like I'm an emotional person and I need an emotional connection, so it's like there's this huge disconnect and it's just why is it so hard? Yeah, it's a lonely life. Anyway, 15. Do you have any siblings? Are they adopted? Yeah, I have an older sister. She's from China. Moving on. 17. What would you say to your birth parents if you could? I don't even know what I would say. I feel like I would just want to know that they exist. Like, I don't know. Hi. I'm just kidding. I wrote a song to my birth parents a long time ago. It wasn't that long ago. Maybe three or 4 years ago. So that song explains what I would say to them. But I don't know, like I feel sorry to them sometimes. Like, if we follow the typical narrative and say they gave me up for adoption to give me a better life, if we go by that narrative, then like I feel bad because like I'm not really doing anything meaningful with my life right now, and I would feel like I failed them kind of. Like, I feel like I should be doing something grand, and I should be using my access to education to be having a very good education and studying something that smart people study and making a lot of money. But like I'm being told the opposite. Like, I'm not like stupid, I'm just not like academically smart. Like, I'm smart in other areas, like I'm better at other things. I might not be like a brainiac when it comes to math or something, but I can solve problems, you know, I'm creative, like I make it up with other things, like I have other skills. But school is not my strong suit. So yeah, so sometimes I feel like I failed them, like if they did want me to have a better life. But yeah, that's what my song was about. It's called Forgive Me. So it was like, forgive me for all these like things that I'm not doing. Like, I'm sorry if I don't meet your expectations, those types of things. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's literally the lyrics to my song. Like, do you think about me? Like, how like it could have been, blah blah blah, those types of things. Like, what do you look like? Literally, how do you, like, not knowing what your parents look like? What's that? Anyway, 18. Oh, I skipped a question. That was question 17. Number 16 was, what is your relationship like with your adopted parents? First of all, there's my parents. Well, I have a lot of moms, but I'd say we have a pretty good relationship. Yeah, because I was adopted by 2 moms, and then they got divorced, and then they each have new partners, so. Yeah, lots of females. But yeah, we have a good relationship. Not much else to say. Okay, number 18. Would you adopt a kid yourself? I don't think so. Like, like, there are advantages to having a parent-child relationship where you're both adopted, I guess, because like you can help guide them through life, I guess, because you can relate to them. But I just feel like that would be so difficult, like creating more things that are unknown. Like I don't know my family, I don't know my parents, they don't know their family, they don't know their parents, and then it's just like, it's so much more, like so many more questions and like no answers. And I mean, at least you could deal with that pain together, I guess, but it's just, I think it'd be really hard for the kid. Like, I can deal with that, like I would totally take that burden on for my kid, but you know, I wouldn't want to put them through that. But like, I guess it would, it's complicated. I would say it's not my first choice. I think it's important for me to have my own kids, so that they don't have to go through the same things that I did. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna move on. Number 19. Apart from being adopted, how else do you identify? I mean, are we going to like list all our labels? I mean, like, okay, first of all, like, labels attached to my adoption. Like, yeah, I call myself an adoptee, obviously, quite freely and openly and frequently. for like my identity, I say I'm Cambodian American, even though Americans might be like, you're more Cambodian, blah 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 blah, and Cambodians are like, no, you're American. Just like, I'm Cambodian American, guess what? Anyway, yeah, besides that, I'm Jewish. Well, I don't like strongly identify with that. You know, I went to Hebrew school from like kindergarten to high school. I had my bar mitzvah, whatever. I studied Hebrew, but like religious belief wise, I don't agree. Excuse me, sorry. I don't agree with the beliefs of Judaism, but I liked learning about it, and the community was amazing. Like, made a lot of friends there, and like the rabbis and cantors, everybody were all friendly. But I feel like religiously I just didn't have a connection to that. So I would say I'm agnostic. I'm not religious. I am interested in learning more about Buddhism, but I've been saying that for years and still haven't learned shit, so maybe sometime soon. Yeah, I'd say my only other like part of my identity is that I am pansexual. No, I do not like pants. Well, I do like pants, but I'm not attracted to them. It's just so fucking stupid. Like, people joke about that. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny. I can laugh about it when I make the joke, but like, it's not funny when you say it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that also doesn't mean that I like everybody. Like, being open to being attracted to anybody does not mean you are attracted to every single person that walks by. That's not how it works. Like, if you're straight, do you like every single straight person? No. If you're lesbian, do you like every single woman that passes by? No. That's not how it works. It just means that I like you for your personality, but I don't like everybody's personality. Definitely not. So that is invalid. Yeah. So that's that. There's not much else to say. No one's gonna watch this anyway, so yeah. Bye-bye.